What I've learned from my career in Hollywood is that fear can both fuel you and fail you. Good morning, everybody. This is Wake Up Well. So today we're talking about how fear can help your career and, of course, hinder your career.
My first time on national TV, I actually froze in panic and fear in front of millions of viewers.
Today, my guest is somebody who did make their dreams come true through both fear and fuel. Michele Moreno, who has credits on hit TV shows on ABC, NBC, Fox, and more. She teaches secrets from the acting world to help business leaders build trust and influence on camera. But her first time on national TV, she panicked and froze in front of millions of viewers. But then she found the road from freakouts to freedom on camera and went on to achieve at the highest level in Hollywood as an actress and a singer. Michele Moreno, hello.
Oh.
My favorite freaker outer. Hey, I think who hasn't freaked out their first time doing something important in their life? Right? Whether it's TV or whether it's standing up in front of a crowd for the first time, it's scary to put yourself out there in the world, right?
It sure is.
But that's one of those things that I think the name of our show is Confessions of a Hollywood Actress, How Fear Both Fueled Me and Failed Me. I think that is one of those things where it fuels you, right? Like fear fuels you because you want to do so well and you want everyone to like you or like your speech or like what you're doing. And it just fuels you to get it, right?
Yeah, I mean, fear is an indication that you really care. And I cared so much that I freaked out on the game show Hollywood Squares in front of millions of viewers. And Big Bird was there, and so was Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, those are two good ones to freak out of in front of, right? So, well, let's talk a little bit about that before we get into, all of this stuff that we're going to talk to you about fear and Hollywood and being an actress. So what actually happened?
So I got on the show, and I thought I was going to be able to handle it because I had already done a lot of live performance as a singer. And when the camera light went on, I freaked out. Like my whole body felt like it was wrapped in cotton, and I couldn't hear Tom Bergeron, the host, asking me the question. So all I said was, I agree. You had a choice in that game show. I agree or I disagree. And of course, I got every single one wrong. I could barely speak. They shuttled me off the stage and they gave me like some kind of consolation prize. And then when I went backstage, all the contestants who were waiting for their turn, they parted like the Red Sea as I walked through because nobody wanted to talk. They were so embarrassed for me. Not only did they not want to talk to me, but they were like afraid that they were going to catch my loser disease. I swear.
But you know what? That is one of those moments where you have to make that choice of, is this going to sink me or am I going to sail on?
Well, a year went by where I went into hiding. And I said to myself, come on now, Michele. You're a remarkable human being. You can't let this moment define you. You have overcome odds in the past to go on to do things well. You've got to give this another try. So I got mentors. I found coaches. I made videos. I put myself on camera for like 4 years straight, actually 3 years straight. And that's when things started to happen.
So it's exactly what we're talking about. You use that circumstance, that situation, that fear that welled up in you, and you transformed it. And it was like, that was your defining moment that now you actually teach people about how to have confidence on camera. And had you never gone through that, you wouldn't have gotten to this point. So we have to always look at those moments as they're meant to be, in a sense, to guide us to what we're supposed to be, what our purpose is in life, you know?
Exactly. If I didn't know what it was like to go through that, how would I be able to help people in the way that I do? I know exactly what they're going through, and I know the exact path to fix it because I had to go through it and fix it myself.
What was your ultimate goal when you first came to Hollywood and you said, oh, I want to do this? What was the goal? What did you want to be?
Well, I really wanted, when I was young, I really wanted to be a TV actress. I wanted to be an actress either in film or TV. But when I went to, after college, I went to a class and I had this acting instructor, and he told me that I wasn't very good in front of the whole class. Kind of basically said I had no talent. And okay, I wasn't very good, I'll give him that. He had the right.
But again, does that defining moment, do you go, oh, you're right, bye-bye, I'm not going to do this anymore? Or did you use that failure to continue to get better?
I did not let it fuel me. I let it shut down my dreams.
Oh, okay.
I did not pursue acting. I was only doing singing from that point on. And it wasn't until I got onto the game show Hollywood Squares that I thought, well, maybe, this is a good sign that maybe I should try TV acting again. And I think it was that I used the other achievements in my life to push me past. And I thought, I'm going to find an acting coach who's so good that they can take me, who's not very good, and turn it around. And I did. I found 2 acting coaches who taught me how to act. I was not good in the beginning, but they were so good and so gifted, they could take anybody and turn them into a great actor.
I think we all have the inherent gifts inside of us. Sometimes we just need someone to bring that out of us and find what was hidden beneath the surface in the first place. So your frozen moment, right? Your TV moment fueled you to get better. And then you went seeking someone to help you. And then what do you think was the change? Was it a change in you that changed everything? Was it the belief because you had a mentor? Like, what do you think shifted you into finally finding that success that you wanted?
I had this acting coach named Richard Lawson who ended up marrying Beyonce's mom. And he taught us the mindset. He taught us to celebrate every effort, no matter what the outcome was. And this was such a novel thing to me, like to actually celebrate the fact that I got onto Hollywood Squares and bombed. And he said, you know why you celebrate every effort? Because you are taking action. And it is only through taking action and then looking back on the experience when you have some objectivity and asking yourself, how can I improve for next time? He taught us that professional actors actually go to work at the audition, that the audition is a chance to practice our craft in front of people who care, casting directors, producers. You might not be great for the part that day because they ended up casting a redhead as your mom and you look nothing like her. But if you impress them enough, that's going to bring you the next audition from that same casting director who was wowed by you. And he taught us the mentality to take every moment that we had a chance to act, to do our best, to separate ourselves from our product, to only judge the product in a way where we ask, how can we improve for next time? And to celebrate every action and effort regardless of the outcome. And that changed the game for me. It changed the game.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, even when you talk about it, that shift that you have it's about delivering your gifts rather than trying to land the part. The bonus is if you land the part, right? But when you go in with that passion, and I feel, having worked in Hollywood, that people pick up on your passion too. They can tell when you're just going in there and winging it. They can tell you when you're desperate to get a role, and they sense that desperation. And they can sense when you are I'm just here for the love of it. And I feel like the people who get the jobs are the ones who are there because they love it. They live it. They eat, sleep, and breathe it. And they have to be doing it.
You hit the nail on the head. If you go in there and you're like, I'm just not going to get this part. It's going to be number 35 now that I'm going to get rejected. If you go in there with that, you will never get the part. And you may have failed on the last 20, 25, last 100 auditions. Literally, I had 200 commercial auditions before I got my first commercial. So I always had to have that mentality of this is a joy, this is a gift. I get to do what I love.
Yeah. And my spiritual guru that I used to work with before I started doing all this work, she used to say that you just deliver your gifts and then let it go. And I just love that. Like, you know what, just go and give them your gift and then be on your way and then not think about it. Because what poisons you, especially in Hollywood, is the thoughts of comparison. You're not good enough, right? That, they'll never like me, and our fear and our doubt gets in our way. Because how many times have you been to an audition where you show up and there's 100 people that look like you?
Oh, better looking, the model version of me.
Right.
And right next to me. And it's like a whole row.
Yep.
They all look like you because they're, they're casting that person who's
right, exactly, because that's what they're looking for. But you can either let that take you down, and you can look around and be like, oh my God, there's all 100 versions of me, and this one's better, and this one's skinnier, and this one's taller,
right, and this one has 5 more credits than I do.
Right. Yep. And this one has more credits than me. Or you can say, oh, I'm just here for the fun of it, and that was a fun, exciting thing. Have you ever had something like that where you didn't get it, but then it fueled you to do better, or to think better, to know that there was something for you out there, but maybe it wasn't that?
I think when I was about to have my first child, I was already pregnant, and I auditioned for Dancing with the Stars to be one of the singers who goes on the road with the dancers. So it was going to be a live tour. And at that point, I had already sung backup for Spain's Rafael all over Latin America. And I also had sang backup for Ray Charles. And so this was going to be like my last hurrah going on tour as a singer. And so I didn't get it. And it was crushing because I found out I was this first runner-up. So I was that close to going on that tour. And I remember I cried. And that's when I started. After I had my child, I thought, you know what? I need to start taking things into my own hands. Like, I can't be reliant on all these jobs that are so difficult to get. And that's when I created a kids music project called Birdie's Playhouse.
Birdie's Playhouse.
And I literally, as soon as I had my son, I started doing gigs. I started writing music. And literally 3 years or 4 years after he was born, I was literally a celebrity on the west side of LA to anybody who was like 5 and under. And I sold music. I just licensed 2 songs to Scholastic. I'm still making money from those Birdie's Playhouse days. So I think sometimes when you look around and the opportunities are not there, or you just feel like you want to control things more, become a creator, create. Yeah. And I knew I had it in me, and I won awards, and I got a record deal, and it was amazing.
And none of that would happen had you have gone on tour, right? Had you have gone with the Dancing with the Stars tour, right? So that's it. Sometimes the universe knows better than we know about what we should be doing, and it'll send us in what feels like the worst direction when we lose something, but we're really gaining something. And that's what I always try to, teach people, that you never know what the universe has in store for you. So just enjoy the ride.
I think in life, you have to understand that whenever you try something new, you're going to have a crisis of confidence. And you have to look at how badly do I want this? Do I have the grit? Do I have the desire? And the stronger, the greater the desire, the more that you're going to have the grit and the follow through to make it happen. I am, wholly qualified to do something like this. And why should I let that fear prevent this ripple effect of greatness, not for just myself, but for the world? Why should I be so selfish and so afraid? I need to take action for other people. I need to be strong for other people to move things forward in this world.
Absolutely. And now you talked about confidence there, and now you actually teach people how to have that confidence on camera. So you took everything that you'd been through in Hollywood, and every experience and every person that you learned from, every fear and every failure, so you could help people. So tell me a little bit about that program.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. I teach business leaders, entrepreneurs, experts, and now executives, how to really have that performance and message that captivates people on camera. And it's been I started in 2016, and since then I've literally been on like maybe 25 online shows as a video confidence expert. I've put 30 people through my 7-week intensive program. I've taken these people, like, they come to me and they are not good on camera. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Like this, they don't know where they're
going. Remind you of you when you what I'm gonna say. They remind you of you from Hollywood Squares?
Yes.
Right. So you can relate, right? So there you go. That experience is like, so now you can relate to what they're going through, correct?
Oh yeah, the transformation as a result of the fact that I know exactly what they're doing. Like, okay, you're watching yourself. You're thinking too much about how you look and how you sound, and not strengthening your connection to your ideal client who's in that lens. I know exactly the path. And what's amazing is to see them transform. That's the best part. Is this transformation? It's like watching a makeover show or watching, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or something. It's really fun.
Everybody needs somebody, a mentor, to help open up what's already inside of them. Like, because we all squash ourselves and make ourselves smaller when we don't feel confident or when we feel like we're not as talented as somebody. And so it's nice when you have a mentor to see for you what you can't see in yourself. And I think that's really important in Hollywood. If people are coming to, try to make a career, that they find that mentorship.
As soon as you take the focus off yourself and think about how can I help this person? How can I be of service in this moment to this other person? How can I affect their world and make their lives better? That's when the acting starts to happen. And that's when just even magic starts to happen between two people, listening and receiving.
Let's put up your website, by the way. So it's videoconfidence.biz. So if anybody is interested in taking Michele's course on how to have confidence on camera, and as you can see, she is full of bright light and energy. And that's as somebody who, has people on her show all the time, who's worked with celebrities in Hollywood. When I worked for Access Hollywood, that's exactly what you want. You want someone who's full of energy, who is authentically themselves, who, is happy and confident. So for sure, Michele is someone that you definitely want to work with. If you're someone who is shrinking and scared, like if that's that, I think that's very common when people first put themselves on camera. They get very nervous. They're not sure how to be themselves. So if you want to work with someone who can help you with all of that, then Michele is the person to help you with that.
In Hollywood and in business, it's not just taking what comes your way. It's actually stepping out and going toward what you want. You really have to tap into the fact that something great could come into this world as a result if I get over my own fears.
Absolutely. And that's how you let fear fuel you. You go, hey, I know you're there, and let's work with it, and let's move beyond it, and let's take that to go and spur beyond it. Because if you stay stuck in the fear, you'll never do anything, right? But if you're like, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I'm not going to let this get me. I'm going to go out and slay the world. And that's really the attitude that you have to have. And that's what's made you successful in Hollywood in the first place, and will continue to spur you on to success. So thank you for being here. We're excited for you in our boot camp. I'm going to put, just if you're interested in knowing about our boot camp for wellness professionals looking to up their game, looking to get into video content, you can go to wellworld.tv and find out all about our boot camp. I'm one of the teachers. Deborah Kay, our founder, is one of the teachers. Michele is one of the teachers. And again, her website, if you are looking for how to get some confidence on camera, is videoconfidence.biz. So thank you, everybody, for watching Wake Up Well, and I will see you back here next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care.